So let's do some weekly wisdom. This time, I want to talk about something real deep, right? I want to talk about your emotional, like your most emotional moments, right? And this is going to be me being real raw with you guys because I think you guys need to hear it. One of the biggest moments in my life, the one where I really truly began to understand my true power, right? The power of me, right? And this is something that you need to start putting in your head. The power of me. Those words are so incredible. The power of me. It begins with the most emotional moments of your life. The moments of recognition in someone else, in yourself, that you have the ability to feel deeply and understand deeply. I think everybody in the world can do it, but I think in many circumstances it's trained out of us. The habits and the mindsets and the perspectives around who we are damaged and broken by the people around us or the environments around us. We grow up in silence. We grow up in abuse. We grow up with neglect. And realistically, the power of you is just never created. It is never built. It is never fostered. And that is why when you come to me, when you ask me these questions, that's what I offer you. I offer you a space for expression that is more powerful because I want to hear you. I want to listen to what you have to say. I want you, like this is why I listen, right? I want you to realize the power of you, just like I have in me, right? And let me go back and be real about this, right? The first moment that I recognized that I could feel deeply was when my father walked out. It was the moment that my dad spoke to me. This wave of denial came over me, of understanding that this man was not coming back. He was going to leave and he was never going to come back. And I felt that with every tissue, every bone, every sinew of my soul. I knew that he was never going to come back to us. I knew that before it even happened. And as a 6-year-old boy, looking at his father and realizing that, that's destructive if not fostered correctly. What that is painful. It becomes guilt. It becomes regret. It becomes shame. And this is just my example. I can't imagine your examples. That's why I listen. That's why I understand. I employ empathy because I know for a fact I do not understand you until you tell me who you are. And then when you tell me who you are, I begin to understand the big picture of how you look at yourself. And then I look at you and I say, that is not what I see. Because far too often, people do not look at the power of themselves. They look at the circumstances of their life and they don't allow the perspective to be understood through logical eyes rather than emotional eyes. You need to look at what you've been through from the reality of life. Life is hard. Life is very hard. It's difficult. It's painful. It's a struggle. It is literally a vying for power of life. Live or die. That is the choice in the animal world and the natural world. We are still animals. Just because we have this concrete jungle doesn't take away the fact that we're animals. And you need to respect the very onslaught of all of these painful emotions sometimes. And sometimes you're going to need to survive. You're going to need to just live for another minute, live for another hour, another day. And when the good times come, you need to empower the power of you. You need to empower the right choices within you and tell yourself what you've survived, what it has taught you, what it has created with you, within you and offer that up as a token of this is how incredible you are to yourself. You have to create the power of you. For some of you, sometimes you're going to have to recreate it in the dark times. But if you do not put in the work during the good times where you are logical, where you are in some ways focused and positive, then the dark times, if you do not put in that work during the good times, the dark times will be very dark. They will be painful. They will be a struggle beyond the struggle they already are, because you will be fighting yourself. I want you to understand something. I do not fight myself anymore. I look at the person within me and I say, you are going to make it. And that person says right back to me, you're damn right. And it's your choice to create that person within you that responds in that way, rather than struggle apart. The external version of you, the reputation that everyone sees, allow it to be friends with the person inside. That person within needs to learn how to express themselves. They need to learn how to show a better version of their life and think about a better version of their life. And even though those circumstances may have been incredibly difficult, that does not determine your attitude. Always remember that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment if you did. If you question anything, absolutely leave me a comment. I'd love to talk to you about it. Other than that, love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Weekly Wisdom, which is not really every week, but it's good.